You're right, folks. So, this is going to be, well, my YouTube channel. All about carpy stuff. And maybe a few reviews and whatever else. It's just a check to see that this is actually working. So, if it is, send a tweet or whatever back. Like it, don't like it, whatever. But this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a proper review of what's going on, what's happened. And to be fair, a few nicknames might just get thrown in, like yesterday. It's like, I've gone to this water. It's one we've fished before. It's good water. And I want to set my traps in a couple of particular locations because, well, that's where the fish are. And as we're walking on, we are just behind, literally just behind. We've just emptied our stuff out of the car. And there's these 3 dollopers, and I mean dollopers. Right, now I usually call them multiple different names, but these are dobbers, proper dobbers, right? You can see the dobbers. Anyway, these 3 dobbers, they're in front of us by, not quite close enough to catch up. So we are stuck behind these dobbers. And I watched them come off the car park, walk right around, and they settle in, swim 1, 2, 3, just where I want to put my traps. In 1 swim, in 2 swims. So anyway, bit of tough shit I'm having. So I go around to the swim that I wanted, because my mate Drew, he wanted the swim, because he liked that. So, same swim as I was in the week previously, that I caught 12 fish. You know, some nice fish as well. Personal best leather, that was the one. And I sets up, but I can't cast one trap to that place because dobber 1's in there. In fairness, he wasn't too much of a dobber. He obviously, you know, he got a 12 metre pole, 13, 14 metre pole, whatever it was. It's a big old pole, right? And as young kids do, he's got it out full length, bending it, and he's struggling to keep it. You know, it's a heavy pole. But he does his best for about 25 minutes and then thinks, ooh, I'm going to got method. So he starts dropping right next to the island, right where I want to be. But hey ho, Dobber's got there first. I didn't want to disturb him by chucking my legs in because it would have been too close to his slot. I'm courteous. So chuck one in the margin to the left and one just in front of me. Mrs. just came in. Can't believe my luck. House full of women. But anyway, so he's fishing, and when he's casting his method, he was bang on every time. So I'll give him, he gets a lesser dobber. One next to him, complete dobber. Right? I mean, he's the type of person that turns up with hook off a coat hanger, yeah, and a piece of split game. Yeah. And chucks on, like, literally the full tin of luncheon meat and goes plop and expects something to come on, right? It weren't happening. Weren't happening at all. There were fish. I tell you no lies. There were fish boiling under his tootsies. Under his feet, there were carp. And he didn't even notice for the 5 hours he was there. Dobber 3, right, he turns up looking like a cross between Rod Hutchinson, right, and Crocodile Dundee. Seriously. Yeah. Big floppy F-off hat. Yeah. Smoking like a Panama cigar. Dobber number 3, he's fishing like he's on a river. Right? Now, bear in mind, this water has no weed. No nothing like that. And he's got his rod. Yeah, like an erect penis in the air. Right? And probably half ounce lead. So his bait's probably off the bottom anyway. But anyway, he's casting away as far as he can and reeling back in and casting and reeling back in. It's like he was spinning. water with no predatory fish. Anyway, so Dobber 3's up there. He's happy as a sandboy. Leave him to his Panamas. But I can't get on anything. Anyway, probably 4 hours into the session, left hand rod, beep, 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 and my bobbin dropped. So anyway, reeled in a bit more, struck into it. It was a definite drop back, but struck into it, and then it went thud, 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 thud. Didn't realise it'd been hooked until it was about 2 or 3 foot away from the landing net, and then it went straight through Dobber 1, 2, and 3 swim. I mean, it just went zip straight through. Dobber 1, he realised, and he reeled in. He was quite happy with that, and he's like, thumbs up sort of thing. He was interested. Dobber 2, seriously, could have put a Scud missile up his arse, and he'd just be interested in his jazz cigarettes. Yeah. Dobber 3, he went through his line, and he thought he'd caught something. Seriously. Didn't have a clue. Anyway, gets it back in. 12 pound 1 ounce mirror. Not the biggest fish on the planet, but hey, he went off like a fucking bullet. Believe me. Maybe I've got my drag set a little bit too small, but hey, I like the fun. And then, after a short while, I've landed this fish. Dobber 1's got another fish. Reasonable. It looked a good size, to be fair. Probably about, I'd say 9-10 pounds. Guesstimate across a lodge in a net. But he was happy as a sandboy. A couple of photographs, as you go. Dobber 2 took the photographs, so they probably didn't come out, to be honest, because he was a bit. Dobber 3 didn't even realise that they'd even caught any fish. Have you lads caught anything? He says as he comes walking back up. Anyway, they chose the time to pack up, which to me was like, oh, go on, get me traps in there. And guess what? They all buggered off. But they chose the time it was absolutely, and I mean absolutely, pissing down. You know, I'm sat back in my shelter, and the rain's coming down like stair rods. It had been dry previously, but that's when they chose to pack up. And off they went. So, brave the rain, because I'm roughy tufty contractors, so brave the rain. Picks my rods up. New Scorpexes on, glugged them up a little bit. Bosh. I know I'm going to have to wait a bit because they've been disturbing what is now my swim by packing up. But anyway, sure as eggs. Caught further 3 fish. Nothing great. £9 common, absolutely scale perfect. And I mean scale perfect. It was like a bar of beautiful gold. The others, they'll grow on. They'll be good fish. But nonetheless, 3 further fish. What I will say is, and this is my little PS. Again, this is just to see if it's working. But my little PS, my postscript to this is schoolboy error. When I'd set up and everything, put my shelter up, which is a V2 tracker. It's a lovely piece of kit. And I'll come to something right at the end. But I set it up and I sort of sat in the mouth of said shelter. And as I was waiting for things to happen, I'd fallen asleep. And I was only walking when I received a puddle from the top of my shelter into the back of my chair that had subsequently gone down the crack of my arse. So for the next hour or so, I was walking around like I had old man problems. Yes, I had very, very wet midriff that kept, somehow it kept dripping down my legs and around the old gong flongers. But anyway, that was quite amusing for Drew anyway, not for me. But then I moved right back in my shelter, that's why I mentioned it. Now, for this first and only time, I'm not going to keep saying it, but I am only fishing at this moment in time because of one person. And he had the decency because he had spare kit in his garage doing nothing to put something on Twitter. And I don't even know how I even saw this. I don't know. But he is on Twitter as well, and it's STCAF Willis, WILLIS. So at St. Calf Willis. That guy put a thing up saying, I've got these bits of kit, I've got a full setup, if anybody needs it. Now, I needed it because I've 2 autistic daughters. And all they do is this on the mobile devices. And in lockdown, there's nothing else we could do. But my mindset changed. I was the third in the company. I was very, very well paid and a lot of responsibility. Too much, to be fair, because it kept putting more and more on me. And with lockdown, all I wanted to do was look after my girls and look after my missus. Family time was more important than anything else. Subsequently, I no longer have a job. But I've got a fucking happy family. And this guy, Steve Willis, said he's got some kit. So I told him about the fact I wanted to get the girls on, into nature and into fishing, and I wanted them to just experience a bit of what I did as a kid. Now, I'd had all my tackle nicked years ago, and I never replaced it. Probably because it wasn't insured, but I never replaced it. And there was things that I'd made as a 7-8-year-old, floats, little bits of knickknacks that can't be replaced, and it just ripped my guts out. But when this guy put this up, I thought, well, I'll send him a message and see. Anyway, he sent 2 rods, basically full setup. Vital arms, V2 shelter, hold all, the nuts. And it was good stuff, and it is good stuff, and I cannot thank him, and I can't thank him enough, because he's given me the ability to take my daughters out fishing, and they're buzzing. They love it. It's pretty special. But what he also knows is me also to rejuvenate my love for fishing. And from what you see in my tweets, you probably gather, yeah, I love fishing. And, well, thanks to him, I can do it. So, just do me a favour, and if you have seen this and listened to this point, just send him a message. Just whatever you want to say. Just say thanks, because that guy's a fucking legend. I weren't going to rabbit on for this length of time, but as my missus says, I rabbit on for fucking ever. This stuff I'm going to be doing is not going to be safe for work. I am going to swear. I'm going to be straight down the middle, yeah? And I'm going to make names up. I'll never tell you which water I'm on, because I don't want anything to identify it, but I am going to make it funny. And if you can listen to me ramble on like this, then, hey, you might enjoy it. So, for now, over and out. Actually, not quite over and out. There is a bit more of a story. One of the rods that he gave me belonged to Dave Lane. It wasn't a Dave Lane rod, it was one that he personally landed £40 fish on multiple times. So I was given a rod and reel that once belonged and were part of Dave Lane's kit. Now that is like, seriously, going down the shit house to clean it out because someone's blocked it and finding the World Cup. And believe you me, I fucking love catching fish on that rod.